Kunio is still on the Famicom and still going at it. This is actually the 10th Kunio game for the Famicom, and it's the first time that one of his sports games has gotten a sequel. The first game was Nekketsu Koko Dodgeball Boo Soccer Hen, which was released internationally as Nintendo World Cup. Well, it's now been 3 years, and Technos has advanced a lot with their sports games. Everyone has much bigger sprites, and there's a whole lot more animation. When you hit start, you initially have your choice of 3 game modes, but they're not really that different. You can play as Kunio against the computer, you and some friends can pick out any 2 teams you like and go at it, or you can practice shootouts. All of that really comes down to the same on-field action, so let's just take a look at the one-player mode. After you choose your difficulty, you go to a menu where you can pick any one of 12 teams to play against. All of those represent national teams, and they're ordered into 4 different groups. Each of the groups could be considered a difficulty level, with the weakest teams at the top and the strongest at the bottom. Your goal is to accumulate enough points by beating those teams until you can play in the World Championship Tournament. The teams are worth different points depending on how difficult they are, and you can only challenge a team 3 times. Once you've picked out what country you're going to play against, then comes the most important thing in the game, the thing that everything hinges on, the team meeting. There are 2 different options here. The first is to set up your strategy. You can choose your positions on field, who will be playing in each position, and your broad offensive and defensive strategies, like how often someone will pass or if they'll prefer to shoot. The more important thing is to build your team's morale. On this screen, you can meet with individual players, and you can just talk to them or give them one of 8 different gifts. Yes, Kunio can talk to himself. If things go well, you'll improve their mood and they'll start smiling, or if things go poorly, then they'll get angry. So here's the thing about this personality screen. It's completely broken. You can talk to and give items to team members over and over and over again. So once you find something that they like, you just repeat that process until they're at maximum happiness. You can do that for the whole team. Also on this screen you can check their stats, but the stats are broken, so don't really consider them. Once you're satisfied with your team, then it's time to start playing. And on the soccer pitch, you are always playing as one character, and it will be whoever's the center on your team. By default in story mode, that's going to be Kunio, everyone's favorite punk-turned-sports star. When you have the ball, A passes, B shoots, and hitting A and B at the same time will make you jump. If another player on your team has the ball, then hitting A or B will order them to pass or shoot. If someone on the other team has the ball, or if no one's controlling it at that moment, then A and B will perform different attacks. There are a lot of context-sensitive moves that you can do, like you might jump on the ball and ride it around, or you might flop on the ground and roll around trying to trip people. And most players have some kind of super shot that they can do. It'll change how the ball behaves as it flies towards the goal, and give you a better chance of getting in. There are a lot of special effects on the field. You could be playing in some sandy terrain where you'll get bogged down, or the wind could pick up and carry things off, or the ball could get struck by lightning and shock anyone who kicks it. The halves in this game are really short, only about 2 minutes, and even when time runs out, it'll still let you play for a few seconds. If the score is tied at the end of the second half, then you go into a shootout, where every player on your team gets a chance to make 1 shot on the goal, and the same thing goes for your opponent. Win and you get a white star, lose and you get a black star. You also get a password at the bottom of the screen so that you could pick up where you left off. And then you get to choose your next opponent. Nekketsu Soccer League is not one of the more well-regarded Kunio games. In case you didn't notice, this game has a real half-finished feel to it. Like how in story mode you're just picking opponents from a menu, or how you can repeat the actions to improve your team's morale infinitely. Kunio no Nekketsu Soccer League really feels half-finished, like it was rushed out the door really fast. And that rush job even extends to the manual. It consistently refers to the game as Nekketsu Kokuto Densetsu, which was the title of the previous Kunio game. The positives here is that they added a whole lot to the soccer action. So if you're playing against your friends, there's a lot more that you can do, even if the game plays like everyone is running in molasses. But playing on your own, it really feels half-finished. I mean, there's not even an introduction, it's just this long text screen. At least you can play the game quickly. Because matches take about 5 minutes, I wound up playing a lot of them while I was recording. I also reset a couple of times after I figured out how to exploit the bugs. Because the single-player experience is so bad here, I think I prefer the original Nekketsu Koko Dodgeball Boo Soccer Hen. This one might look prettier, but it definitely doesn't play as well.